All right. Welcome to today's webinar, everybody. We're so excited you're here. We are going to be talking about marketing strategies to finish 2021 strong. To get the most from today's webinar, we want you to take really good notes and to use that Q&A panel there to ask any questions you might have. Don't get stressed out if we don't answer them right away. We're going to be taking those all at the end. So bear with us. If you want to reach us at any time after today's seminar, you can reach us at Darryl Speaks on all social media channels. Oh, it's Tony's birthday today. Happy birthday, Tony. It's one of those days. Darryl's the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually one of the #1 selling books to real estate agents on Amazon.
How exciting.
Darryl was named one of the top real estate newsmakers for 2021 by RISD Magazine in the Big Hearted and Brave category. He is also the recipient of the coveted CSP designation, which is only given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide by the National Speakers Association. On that note, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Darryl, take it away and do
I can't wait either, Julie.
Let's do this.
So, gang, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, good evening. So I want a couple of things before we get started. Now, some of you have seen this opening time and time again because you're here every week. But for the new folks, I do want to address this question. Is this webinar a sales pitch? No, it's not at all. But for the sake of full transparency, I do want to understand this Wednesday webinar is part of a weekly series training classes that we do for our members in our coaching program who are called Power Agents. So some of you on this call are Power Agents and some of you are guests. We're so glad the guests are going to be here. You're going to get a tremendous amount of value, but I just do want you to understand that because from time to time during this webinar, I am going to be having like a sidebar conversation with Power Agents, pointing things out about their membership to tie into the seminar. But again, you're going to get a tremendous amount of value. To answer the question that you might have in your head, to just get it out of the way, what is a Power Agent? So it's our coaching program. It's a monthly membership. It's been reduced to $47 during the pandemic time that we seem to still be in. But if you're a guest at the end, if you want to get involved and become a Power Agent, you can do it for only $5 for a whole month. You have full unrestricted access. You can everything. You access everything like a full-fledged Power Agent does. Plus, you get these bonuses today. And by the way, guests, just to give you a little tip. Oh, and you can cancel anytime as well. It's month to month. But for the guests, a little secret for you, you get a tremendous amount of bonuses that I will show later. So, okay, now we have going wide, or when we do these webinars, sometimes we go super wide and cover a bunch of little things. And some of them we go super deep on one specific topic. Like when I'll do a webinar on doing the listing appointment for a Fsbo, well, that's just the listing appointment. We go really deep from start to finish. Or if it's about calling Fsbos, start to finish on just that topic. Today's topic is wide, meaning I am going to cover a little bit of a lot. So please don't get overwhelmed. You cannot implement everything I'm going to cover today. So what I want you to do is just to think, and Power Agents who've seen me cover some of this material, I want you to ask yourself, are you really mastering it? Have you made it really part of your business? That's really important, okay? So let's get into this. We're going to cover 4 tips. Now, one of the tips is going to be like maybe half of the webinar. So just hang on to your seats on that. So finishing up this quarter, here's one of the things I really encourage you to do, and that is get super focused on your business, right? Because we only have a few months left. And by the way, when you think about it, if it takes a couple of months to close a transaction, if you take December 31st, November 31st, October 31st, really this year, when it comes to cash flow, is going to be ending in 3 weeks. So a lot of what you should be thinking as well, gang, is about planting seeds for next year, using this opportunity to work on your business, not just work in it. We're going to talk about that. Part of getting focused is you want to not feel overwhelmed or confused in your business. You want to have a plan. I've got to tell you this because somebody needs to hear what I'm about to say right now. Is what is the right plan? There is no answer to that. There is no right plan. It's the plan that you're willing to commit to and be consistent and stay committed. Oh my gosh, that is the key. It doesn't matter. You could do the worst prospecting strategy in real estate, the worst. But if you're consistent and you're doing it over and over again, eventually it's going to produce a result. So I want to give you some ideas on how to clear the clutter in your head and get a little bit more focus in your business. Now, Power Agents, one of the things that you get as part of your membership is a tremendous amount of things to help you stay focused, to help you stay motivated. Because I'm a big hanging up type of guy, chart, motivational stuff. If you can see behind this cameras, my office, I got something hanging everywhere, right? So let me give you a few suggestions. Let me talk to the Power Agents for a second. Power Agents, what I'm going to share with you, if you go to the classroom of the website and you go to time and money management, anything is related to managing your time or money is going to be in that tab. So a lot of what I'm going to show you is coming from that. So for example, one of the things to really get focused, finishing up this year and getting ready for next year is the dot board. Now, Power Agents who use the dot board love the dot board. And guess what a dot board is? It basically, as you can see on the screen, it's kind of split in half. On the left side, it has your vision board, what you're committed to, that future of your life. What is it? What do you, if you had a magic wand and you can have your life look any way it would be, what would be the visualization aspect? Over to the right is tracking basically 3 categories. How many listings went into contract, and how many buyers bought a house from you. That's the sales part. That sales column is buyer side contracts. Now, when you start producing and getting listings, it's a motivator. I'm going to tell you some guests and Power Agents, if you're those of you not using it, I've had Power Agents say they've doubled their income just from this silly board. One of our Power Agents, Mary Buttendeck, she posted this, it was basically a few months ago, and she said, man, I am kicking butt. She's loving the dot board. So there's one thing. The other thing is a Power Agent activity tracker. Now, guess you can do something like this yourself. Power Agents is in the time management section. The concept is this, gang, is that you should be prospecting consistently all the time prospecting. And sometimes we get overwhelmed, we get confused. To make it a game for yourself, have some kind of chart that you take down every week. So it's only good for 7 days. Right on the left side is all the different things that you can do to shake the trees, to build your inventory, right? Call past clients, send out 50 letters, blah, blah, blah. And the game here is every day you do at least 2 of those items on the left hand. So you shoot for 2. You can do more, but you shoot for 2. By the way, I don't know if I have this article because I was editing this webinar up until the very last minute. NAR just came out with their stats. It may come up later that September has seen the highest number of amount of inventory come out this year. Here's my point. Some of you know it in your market. There's more and more listings that are starting to come to the market now. Things are sitting a little bit longer. I'm not saying the bubble has busted by any means, but it's starting to level out. We're seeing more, and you know what I'm talking about. Some of you're seeing in your market now. My point here is getting listings are going to be even easier going into the coming months. So you should be focused on that. Here's something we did for our Power Agents, a little fun thing, just a little checklist of all these different places you generate your leads, Fsbos, Expireds, emails, seminars, social media market seminars that you do for buyers and sellers, advertising, paid advertising, mail. So something to help you stay focused. Now I'm going to show you 2 things that I really love. This one over here is tracking. You may find this useful for yourself, is to start logging your calls, your conversations, and your appointments. And here's why that's good. Because what I've noticed in coaching agents is sometimes we feel like we're not being successful, but that's a feeling. It's not factual. There's a difference. When you look at the facts, when you look at your numbers, I was talking to a Power Agent the other day, said, I'm not doing good this year. Things are going bad, blah, blah, blah. And when we looked at his bank account, we looked at his closings, and we looked at his money. He did better this year than he did last year. So you can't trust your feelings. Your feelings are a made-up perception of reality. So sometimes it's good to look at your stats. And when you look at how many calls you're making, your conversations, your appointments, you can see a weakness. Well, I'm not making enough calls, or I am making enough calls and I'm having a lot of conversations, but I'm not setting appointments. It helps you improve your skill and ability. One of our other favorite things to have power agents stay focused is this 30-day challenge. Now, we throw this out every so often. We don't make a contest. We tell agents, challenge yourself. Say, you know what would happen to your business? Listen, I'm going to challenge you right now. Listen to this. Can you imagine what your business would look like if in the next 30 days you had one conversation with somebody who wants to sell a house and one conversation with somebody who wants to buy a house? That's 2 conversations. Can you do that today? And can you do that again tomorrow? Can you do that for 30? If you did that for 30 days, that is 60 conversations with buyers and sellers. What would happen to your business? That simple thing. Come on now. This is, I'm throwing gold at you here. The real estate, you make it simple. Don't get so overwhelmed and confused, but be consistent. That's the secret. Now, power agents, one of the other things we did for you, we do this every month for you, Julie's. When she launched this about a year and a half ago, because Julie does these calendars, I thought she was crazy because you got to do it every month. But she just loves it. The power agents, the users love this. It gives you tips on what to do every day. Like if you just had one thing to do, like for example, let's look at next week. Next week it says on that first day, use RedX, go to the website and activate your account. Join us on the Power Hour call on Tuesday. Putting your prospecting is my superpower to do not disturb. So put up a do not disturb sign in your office or by your phone and tell people I'm prospecting. Join the webinar. It's National Dessert Day. I didn't know that. Next week is National Dessert Day, Julie? I didn't know that.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you'll send me some. I'll send you some.
Okay.
Choose a lovely dessert and deliver it to 5 great clients. Go door to door and deliver it. Use the expired dialogue. Anyway, so here's my point. Stay in focus, having things. Here's something else too. Some of you are part of our email system, and I'm going to tell you, if you're a guest and you get emails from us, other than the webinar announcements, those emails there's some real good value in there. There's usually free stuff, but for power agents, we have specific training emails to help them stay focused, like the Saturday strategies or the Power Agent Toolbox, where we feature just one of the 500 assets that we have on the website. A reminder about our Wednesday webinars, our Tuesday tech training that we do on how to maximize the value of the program, along with Monday motivation. These are power agents. These are training emails. Please make sure you read them and pay attention to them and help you stay focused. Here's the other thing we got to pay attention to this year, going into this quarter, is starting to work on your business plan. Now, there's two business plans we give power agents. One is the easy business plan, which looks at your basically one sheet, saying, all right, how much money do you need to break even, your survival money? How much do you need for your personal? How much do you need for your taxes? And then there's miscellaneous next level. And then you basically you work the numbers backwards to figure out how many listings, how many sales and closings. Yeah. So that's the 1-page easy business plan. But one of the things I'm going to suggest is actually kick it up a notch, gang, and that's using the breakthrough business plan. Guess I'm going to tell you how you can get a copy of this in a minute. If you're looking at the screen right now, breakthrough business plan says it's a planning for now business, future business, and financial freedom. This thing, ladies and gentlemen, is actually 43 pages. It's actually 3 plans in one. So for now business, if you need business in the next 30 days, what should you be doing the next 30? If you're good for the now business, but you want to worry about and focus on your future business, what can you do to plant the seeds for future business? And then, of course, we've got to think eventually we're going to stop listing and selling about retirement, right? I saw a T-shirt once say, realtors don't retire, they just become listless or something like that. I don't know. It sounded funnier when I read it originally. Listen, guests on the call, I want you to know one of the things you get that $5. By the way, let me pause here for a second. I got to talk to the guests now. Guests, if you decide you want to become a power agent for $5, everything on that screen you get to keep. It gets emailed to you right away. And one of those is that breakthrough business plan. So it's really worth the $5 just for that alone. Okay, so tip number 1 is do stuff, gang, that's going to have you stay focused in this last quarter of 2021. But these things that you implement in your business will help you stay focused in 2022. So think of using some charts, working on your plan, stuff like that to help you stay focused. All right, number 2, prospect for listings. Listen, this has got to be a focus for you guys. Can you make money just working with buyers? You can, but I say eventually, if that's how you built your business, you develop a twitch. Be like, yes, I'm in real estate. It's hard working with buyers, especially in the market that we're in. But whoever is the listing agent always seems to win. So, here's that article. I did have it. Okay. So this is the article I just found before the web. I found it last night. Realtor September housing report. Inventory just hit a 2021 high, which means more choice for fall buyers. This is really positive news, gang, for us in our business, because when inventory is down, it hurts our business across the board. And now we're starting to see a shift in that. That's a good thing for you. So we've got to make sure that you're doing what you can to tap into those listings. Power agents, if you go to Classroom on the website and then you go to prospecting, a lot of what I'm going to talk about now is going to be in that tab. Okay. Now, so let's go through. And in that tab, Power Agents, there's a ton of dialogue. I'm going to share some stuff about other marketing techniques in this webinar, but I want to, hang on one second. I just got to make sure I keep this going here. Okay. But I want to cover some dialogue with you right now. And the reason why is because if you need now business and you need to generate revenue, the telephone and having good dialogue is really, in my opinion, the best way. So I'm going to go through a bunch. We're going to talk about other marketing stuff in a minute. I got 150 slides, and I think we're only at 20. Number 1 is for sale by owners. So what I love about Fsbos is that we know they want to sell. Now, there's a disclaimer I need to say. What I'm about to tell you is my educated opinion, and I know I'm right, but you must listen to your broker. So if your broker has a different philosophy, different opinion about what I'm going to tell you, then you need to listen to your broker. When it comes to the for sale by owners, even if they're on the do not call, it is totally okay to call them. And the reason why the do not call or state of emergency for the New Yorkers on here. And the reason why is because the do not call is in state of emergency, you can't do unsolicited calls. Well, a for sale by owner is the opposite of unsolicited. They are actually soliciting calls. That is the nature of a for sale by owner. They're putting out in the universe saying, hello, I'm selling my house. Call me. And so we're responding to their ad. When you think about it, they started it, not us. So for sale by owners are totally good to call. Now, this happens to be my strength. One of our power agents, a Howard Hanna agent, Carmen, she took the dialogue power agents that you have in the training, and she called one weekend. She listed 5 Fsbos. She had a marathon call. I mean, can you imagine listing 5 Fsbos in one weekend? Come on. This is powerful stuff. So Fsbos, what I love about Fsbos, gang, is they want to sell when. Now, Expireds, what I love about Expireds is they already see the value in realtor because they sign with a realtor, right? Most of the time. Some of them do those discount brokerages or those other, pay the fee and get on MLS. But most of them, when they sign up with an agent, it might be a traditional agent. And so they already see the value. Number 3 is houses for rent. What I love about houses for rent is most agents are not calling them. Now, these are and we've seen an increase in houses for rent being sold because you've got these investors, and because of the eviction moratorium and the investment world has gotten really hit during the pandemic. So there's an opportunity for you to reach out to these people and say, hey, listen, if I had a buyer who's willing to pay you for your house, I know you're trying to rent it, but if you can get a good deal for it and you made a nice profit, would you be interested in selling? So it's off agents' radars, most of them. You can flip those. They're easier to call. I love houses for rent. Now, RedX, in my opinion, is also the best company to help get these for rent by. You see at the bottom of the screen, it says Fsbos, Expireds Fsbos. For rent by owners is what the FRBO is, pre-foreclosures. Storm dialing is something different. But those are the sources of leads. We're really big on RedX. So power agents, you know that you get a great deal because you don't pay anything for a month. The first 30 days, you don't pay a setup fee. We did a good deal for you. The rent by owner dialogue, I just demonstrated it. Just I'll zoom in on that one section. The reason why I was calling you, Mr. Hana, is I know you rent your place, but I was wondering if I had someone who wanted to buy your house for a nice profit, would that be of interest to you? Is that something you'd be interested in? So right there, you can generate some great listing leads. Now, I'm going to talk again to the power agents. Power agents, one of the webinars that I did for you is Stop Wasting Money with Online Leads, How to Master the Telephone, Generate 100K. That webinar that I did last month, September 15th, went through the for rent by owner dialogue, the Fsbo dialogue, the expired, like we actually went line by line. So power agents, if you haven't watched that, I'm going to encourage you to do that, okay? And you get a copy of the dialogue right there with the slide, with the recording, so it makes it easy for you. It's a training class. Number 4 is past clients. Now, some of us are really not been good working past clients, so let me give you some tips on how to do. One of our power agents, I just talked to Annette Mina. I met Nina. Some of you from Long Island know who she is because she's the top agent for Douglas Elliman. And when she started her career, she had taken my program. Anyway, she's a big fan of mine, and I am a huge fan of hers. And she has now gotten to this place in her business where all of it comes from referrals. Honestly, she's not calling Fsbos expired. She doesn't have to. So let me talk a little bit on how to make sure that you are working this. And by the way, let me go back for a second. I'm giving you a fire hose of ideas, not just for marketing strategies for this quarter, but I want you to think on what you should be working on in this quarter. Listen to what I'm saying. This is very important. Traditionally, this time of year, as we move into the holidays, becomes a little slower, but the quality is better, right? So any buyer that's going to come out during this time of year is serious. Any seller who's willing to put their house up and have people come through during that is serious. So the quality is better. This makes you more effective. This is powerful what I'm saying. This makes you more, I'm sorry, I keep going back on the slide. This makes you more effective because the quality is better. That means you're wasting less time with lookers, non-committal people, which means you should also be using this time to work on your business, right? So some of the things that I'm telling you, if you don't have implemented, you need to do that. So that way you hit the ground running for 2021, like this one here. When you have a closing with a buyer or a seller, what's the post-closing program that you've implemented, the system to really bond with those people? And you'll see on this says prior to the closing, 3 days after the closing, 14 days after the close, So power agents, we gave you this. You have access to all this, right? Guess you should have some kind of follow-up and system to really secure. And I'm going to tell you something. You can get some referrals immediately after a closing because they're most excited. If you've got a slew of people in your client base that you haven't been in touch with, one of the things I suggest you do is send down an I'm sorry letter to get back in touch with them. Say, here, dear Hana, you might be thinking, hey, whatever happened to Darryl? We don't hear him anymore, whatever. I'm writing today to apologize for my inconsistent follow-up effort. I think about you guys often, but I've been so busy helping other families. And by the way, you could tweak this letter if you don't like being so apologetic, but the point is you should have some kind of reintroducing yourself to these people. Power agents, by the way, I'm just a shout out to power agents. You know, power agent is a registered trademark, power agents, and nobody can use that unless they're a power agent. You should be using that in all of your signatures to point out to people, hey, a power agent is a member of an exclusive program dedicated to professionals. Less than 1% of all agents across North America committed to helping buyers and sellers get to the next level of life. So power agents, you should be branding that because that helps elevate you in certain circumstances. Now, once you send that I'm sorry letter, you should call them. And here's a, hey, hi, this is Darryl. How are you? Great. Recently, I was thinking about you, or you might reference the letter. You know, I just sent you a letter because I've been thinking about you and John. I hope everybody's well. How are things going? Great. Talk about them. Talk about the house. Have you guys done anything different with the house? How are things? Get ready for the holidays. Now, if they interrupt you, if you do this right, you're talking a lot about them. How are you doing? How's the kids? How's the house? Bah, bah, bah. At some point, they're going to ask you, how is real estate? How are you doing? And then that's when you'll say, you know what? Because the rates are so low, here's what I'm finding. I'm finding that people either refinancing their house because they can take that money, improve their house to get it to the level that they really love, like have it be their shelter-in staycation home. Or some people are selling the house, buying that dream home, and their payments don't change too much, again, because the rate's being so good. So anyway, there's how you do that. Here's something else. Visit with your top 50. One of the things that we teach power agents is SMILE stops, and the acronym for SMILE is it's about service. You're going to do it face-to-face because you're going to go to the house. You're going to door knock. You're going to invite them to share about them. They're going to talk about them. You're going to leave behind a token of gratitude, and then you elevate the relationship. So it's a SMILE stop. See, it's not door knocking, or it's a SMILE stop. Now, you've got to bring a little gift in hand. Power agents, we give you a ton of ideas. We have SMILE stop ideas for every month of the year, for the seasons. But let's just look at, for example, going into this holiday, Hanukkah, December year. I'm just going to zoom in a couple of them. You can stop by some of your top clients, give them an extension cord that's red with a note, a cute thing, say, I love staying connected with great clients such as you. Happy holidays. My favorite is that middle one there, wrapping paper. Hey, thanks for helping me wrap up a great year of me serving you and your referrals or your friends. And then the last one there is whisking you a happy holidays. You're whisking because it's a whisk. Do you see the play on words? Yeah, we might have been drunk when we came up with some of these. But anyway, so there's the idea for the SMILE stops going on. Last thing is orphans. Now, an orphan, be careful of this. I had a power agent. They called their broker up. They had actually called them. They emailed the broker, and they said, can I get the orphans in the company? And they, what are you talking about? Okay, that's a term I use. So it's not an industry term. So don't use orphans. Let me explain what an orphan is. An orphan is somebody who bought or sold real estate through your company, and the agent was involved in that transaction, is not working for the company anymore. So in other words, it's a closed file of a deal that the company has. That agent is not there anymore. You ask your broker manager, hey, all of those closed deals where the agent left our company, can I adopt them as my past clients, or can I call them? And that, even some brokers, I know you, I don't want you to adopt. Can I call them and just see how they're doing, do a customer service thing? Maybe I can shake the trees and do some updated CMAs for these people. Now, power agents, in that prospecting section of the website, you have all the dialogue. But let me just zoom in on one section right now, because I told you today's webinar, we're going wide, and I have so much more to still teach you. So when you call them, you say the reason for the call is to apologize. It seems that you bought a home from us years ago, and the agent was involved in that sales, no longer working for the company. But the reason for the apology, Mr. Hana, is it seems we lost touch with you. So I've been appointed from my company to be a new rep, that if you ever need anything real estate related, I'm here for you guys. By the way, how are you enjoying the house? And then step 4, you start building a relationship, right? And by the way, I'm going to jot this down. Extra teacher moment. Here it comes. It's real quick. Make sure you jot it down. Whenever you're making calls to anybody, I don't care if it's a Fsbo, an expired, a past client, an orphan, what should you be committed to? I'm going to tell you. It ain't getting an appointment. Do not be committed to getting a listing or getting a referral. You know what it is? Be committed to building a relationship with another human being. Bada bing. If you're committed to building a relationship or elevating that relationship with that person, the business will come naturally, okay? And it'll be more authentic, more honest, and nice, and like that. Now, one of the things you could offer these orphans, because if it's been a while since they've heard from the company, you can say one of the things we're offering is updated market analysis for our past clients. You never know. You might be amazed how much your house is worth. One of the other services you get, it's called Neighborhood Market Report. The report only tells you, not only tells you how much your house is worth, but it tells you what your neighbors, they paid for their house. So anyway, we're talking about a CMA. Oh, guess. Sorry, I forgot the slide was here. Guess. We got a gift for you. That $5, you can get all that dialogue. It's going to get emailed to you today at the end when we get to that point. Okay, so that was number 2, is prospecting for listings. By the way, let's go to number 3 now, and I want to talk about open houses. Now, open houses, and even in this right now, is so hot because you see all these lines. Let me show you. Let me screw me up. This is from Joanne Mills. Shout out to Joanne. She took this photo. I love this photo. I love this photo because let me tell you why this photo is so awesome. Let's say you're one of those homeowners living on that block, and you look out your window and you see, Ming, what the heck is going on here? What's going over at Power Realty? They're doing an open house. Look at the line, Ming. Let me tell you something, by the way. Pandemic or no pandemic, this is how we should do open houses from now on. No more opening up the doors and just letting a slew of people come in. We should form lines, and one family at a time. Even after this pandemic is done, then there's no masks. Whenever this happens, we should still keep this in our business. You want to know why? Because lines like that is great advertisement. It creates a sense of urgency. The people that are waiting on the line, geez, I wish I was number one. Here I am. I'm number 15. I got to wait. Oh, my goodness. I hope it doesn't sell before I get in there. They're ready to buy that thing before they even get into the house. Now, in addition to that, so I'm going to teach some things about the open house really quick, but give me a second. I forgot. Power agents, do you see that on the screen? I don't know if I can't zoom in on. It says September 22nd. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a webinar just on this, on just the open house, because I think this is one of the best strategies right now, simply because of the line concept. Anyway, Power agents, you got to watch it. There's a whole hour on this. I cover these things, but let me just touch a little bit. I'm going to teach a little bit from it right now. There's 4 P's to having a successful open house, to getting a slew of business from an open house. There's the preparation to the open house. There's the promotion of the open house. Then there's the presentation, meaning the actual open house that day. And then there is the follow-up to open house, which a lot of agents drop the ball. One of the things you should do, you should have checklists. What did I say at the beginning of this? Number one, stay focused. You should be organized. Run your business like a business. You should have checklists and things. Like, make sure you pack the yard signs and you feather flags and directional. Okay. The next thing, here's a little extra. I could cover this in the webinar, is taking a virtual tour of the listing and putting it onto a jump drive, a USB flash drive. And in that, you do a little video of you thanking people for coming to your open house, and look at the tour. So it's a little branded commercial thing. You can get these very inexpensive, like $1 each, and you give everybody that walks into your open house like that. Remember the lines? The people out there? One of the questions ever, how do you get honest information from buyers about their name and their phone number and the email? If they're on a line, it's almost like in their mind, if I don't fill this form out correctly, they may get offended. They may not let me in, whatever. It's a subconscious thing, not a conscious thing. So when you're doing an open house, you got a line, you have a clipboard, and you have everybody, they fill it out. It's almost like ticket of entry. You don't fill this thing out right, you ain't getting in. It's a subconscious thing. You don't say that unless you're doing an open house in New York. You can get away with that. Threatening people, say, fill it out, otherwise you're not coming in. Post open house, make sure you send follow-up texts to people. You know, one of the things, we wrote a series of texts after the open house. Thanks for stopping by on Sunday. I want to check in and ask you if you have any questions about the so-and-so. Also, I thought I'd share a few other properties that are for sale similar. I'd be happy to set up appointments if you're interested. This is good. They're going to follow up on that email, for crying out loud. Here's another one. It was great to meet you last weekend. I hope you got a good feel for the house and the benefits of this, that, and the other thing. We had overwhelming interest by many who attended. So the seller will be offering here an offers on Tuesday. If you like to write an offer, by the way, if it didn't fit your needs, these are great. Power agents, these are great texts. It's in their Power Program buyer tab of the site. Follow-up calls, you can also do that. So you can do the text, you can do a follow-up. I don't care. It's very simple. Now, next thing is, I got to speed it up. The next tip that I'm giving you is big. Host a neighborhood open house. If you've been on my webinars before, you know I'm really huge on this. That if you get a new listing that comes on the market, before doing a public open house, you do a neighborhood open house. The reason why is because when you now do the public open house, the neighbors, you took care of them first. So now they're not taking up your time on a real open house. Plus, when you do the real open house, you can tell the neighbors, I'm doing that. Remember, you saw the house. I'm doing it for the public. Send your friends and family. So now you got the whole neighborhood. Sorry. You got What happened here? Give me a second. You have the whole neighborhood promoting your open house to their friends and family. Now, here's the key. You got to say in the invitation, as the homeowners will not be present, I'll be providing the personal tour of the home. So when you do the neighborhood open house, you tell the neighbors the homeowner will not be home, so I'm going to do the tour for you. If you tell 50 neighbors the neighbor won't be home, you're going to get every neighbor. They're nosy. They want to see inside and see how they decorate. And is it clean? You always wonder what the house looked like in there. That's how the neighbors are. You're going to get everybody showing up. And when you're doing the tour, you're not selling the house, they're neighbors. You build a rapport. So you live in the neighborhood. What do you like best about the neighborhood? Have you ever thought about moving? If you were going to move, where would you move to? When's the last time you had to update a market analysis? I think every homeowner should do that once a year, like have a physical checkup done. Why not do this? I don't mind. Anyway, you can schedule 50 listing appointments from this one. I love this. Now, power agents, shout out to you. I don't know if you can see on the screen at the bottom, it tells you the Avery template because we created the template for you. So if you buy that Avery 3266, it's on the site. You can print it on your printer, and it looks like a wedding invitation, and people open it up, you put a real stamp. This is my time to check in because we're at the halfway mark. Tell me, what do you guys, because we keep track of the chat here. Tell me what you like, what you've learned so far. So do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, tell me what have you learned that you like the best about. Let me open up my chat over here. Yes. So what do you like best about what I taught you so far? What are you going to implement? What's your favorite idea? So let me see. Like Sophia, I love it. Darryl Sophia's like, holy, Darryl had a double shot of espresso. No, Sophia, I am just passionate about this stuff because this is good stuff. Now, by the way, don't get overwhelmed, right? Just pick one thing. Right now, tell me, what's the one thing that you like that you've learned so far that you want to implement? Shout out. Very good. Emmanuel, word of mouth is more powerful than people think. Emmanuel, ain't that the truth, man? It's important that you get feedback, positive feedback in your business. Muhammad, you love the open house? I'm going to tell you something. That open house is awesome. David, the dot board, I love it. I'm with you on the dot board, David. Man, that helps you stay focused. So, Julie, you're publishing these here? Because I started to click on some of them.
I was waiting till you were done. I'm going.
Okay, God bless you, Julie. You know how to do this now with me. Yes. All right, so the script.
We're going to publish it so you guys can see what everybody loves.
Yeah, so start publishing them. Neighborhood open house, the invites. I'm going to tell you, man. The neighborhood open house, that's one. I'm telling you, that one strategy alone is going to generate a slew of listing appointments. If you need now business, do one of those. Do what I said. It's awesome. All right. While you guys, let me hear it. Keep it coming. God bless you. I love it. Let me go on because now this one over here, this is the last tip I'm going to give you. And this last tip is going to take up the rest of the webinar, okay? Because it's really packed. So what I'm going to tell you is working on your business. I'm going to show you a slew of thoughts that I have. It's a stream of consciousness. You cannot you cannot implement everything. So I want you to think of some things that you think you should do for your business, right? One of the things, the advantage to marketing is business eventually comes to you. There's no more cold calling because the calls that come to you, you've already been mailing them. So this is the power of self-promotion. It's non-threatening way to prospect when you're self-promoting yourself, building relationships with people. It eventually creates a steady flow of cash for you when you're marketing yourself consistently. Remember I said consistently? So let me give you some suggestions on how to start a marketing plan for yourself. One is figure what your established niche would be. Like you may choose geographic. Most of us do that. We pick like an address, an area, neighborhood, but there's other things. You could pick price range. You could pick condos or co-ops. It could be a style of home. It could be ethnicity. Like if you, one of my top agents, her name was Sue Wong, Korean lady. Well, she hung out with other Koreans. That was her market, man. She spoke their language, their culture. Investors, they don't buy with emotion. They buy based on numbers. Different type of animal. Retirees, first-time buyers. Those are emotional roller coaster people. You got to be a psychologist to help these people. So you're more sensitive people with good empathy. That's a good. So think about what's your market that you want to focus on. It's better to have a niche if you can. The second is look for a niche that hasn't been exploited. You want to try, and if you're going to do a geographic area and there's one agent in a gated community that they really own that market, maybe it's better to look where an agent doesn't really own that market. If you can. If you can't, then you're going to do something else that I'll show you in a minute. You want to determine in a farm, in a self-promotion campaign, because you're going to start throwing money at this, how many people should you have in that, right? Do you have the money and the finances for it, because you need to budget for that? Now, number 4, if you do have an agent you're going head-to-head with in a market because you really want that market, make sure you know their strengths and weaknesses, because it's going to be coming up, man. They're going to say, well, Darryl, I never heard of you. Mary Jo, she lists everything in this market. And then if I'm prepared because they brought up Mary Jo, I said, well, you're forcing me to show you some stuff. Let me show you. Yes, she's a big lister, but her days on market or her average list price to sales price ratio is very bad. Anyway, then I'd have to compare. So know your competition strengths. And we get an appropriate photo, because you should have your photo on everything. On everything, your photo. You are the product. You need to market you, but it's got to be appropriate. Like, this is not an appropriate photo because I don't even know what he's holding in his hand. Cell phone, baby. What is that wire thing there? This one, I don't think this is a good market. This is like, hi, I'm an alcoholic. So make sure you have an appropriate photo to be putting on your marketing stuff. But those are real agent photos, by the way. That's why I showed you. Save your money. You're going to need at least 6 months to do any kind of marketing campaign. So be prepared for that. Make sure you have your postage, your print, your whole 9 yards. The next thing is power agents. In this farming section of the Power Program website, we gave you the self-promotion campaign, not calendar. Well, yeah, it is a calendar where it gives you suggestions on things that you can do in each month based on the different type of marketing. There's also doing holiday events and self-promotion. Now, we just talked about this in last week's webinar. You shouldn't do all these events, but let me show you some things. There's Easter, 4th of July. Let me jump to this because we're in October. This is one of our power agents is the CEO of, you might have heard of this, called Lab Coat Agents, Tristan. And Tristan, he loves this. He said this is one of his most favorite things that he does as a power agent. And that's where you basically have your farm area say, hey, listen, we're going to do a trunk or treat. Instead of door to door for the kids, we're going to have them come to a parking lot. All the neighbors, you decorate. We're going to have a contest. Whoever decorates the best trunk, they're going to win something. I don't know, dinner for two at a high-end restaurant. You have a sponsor pay for your prize. You do a whole thing over here. And what's really great about this, you got the community involved. It's a fun thing. It's outdoors. It's COVID safe. You have the kids get to see the other kids. It's safe. You get to see all the neighbors in one, like shooting fish in a bowl. It's wonderful. And it's fun. So what we did is we created a whole planning guide on how to put together a trunk or treat event with letters and emails and flyers and checklists and suggestions. Anyway, we'll talk more about those flyers in a second. Oh, and there's one other thing that we did. Power Agents, we created for you because that was so successful when we launched that. Julie, when did we launch that idea, the trunk or treat thing? Was that a year and a half?
Yeah, it was probably September of last year.
Okay. So we got so excited. People were really kicking it with it. We decided to create a parking lot party guide, meaning there's other events you can do like 4th of July, Easter egg hunts, whatever, and have it centrally located in a parking lot or a park. So we create a whole guide on how to do that for you guys. Use a contact management software in marketing yourself, promotion. You've got to have a CRM. Now, for those of you who don't know what CRM stands for, it stands for Customer Relationship Management. It's a software. Another version would be Customers or Clients Really Matter. My favorite is Keep Reminding Me with a play on the C and the K. But anyway, it's an essential software. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this now, gang, is because some of you, you use an Excel for your past. That ain't a CRM. Some of you have a CRM and you don't even know what it does. You use it like a really souped up Rolodex. Let me show you, like Power Agents, we have for you. Let me go back. Power Builder. So Power Agents, there's a CRM for you. And it's called Power Builder. And it has checklists to help you stay focused on what you need to do with all your clients, all your leads, all your buyers, your sellers. There's a built-in newsletter that gets sent out automatically. You don't even have to touch it. If you want to touch it, you want to edit, you can. You don't have to. there is a website that hooks into it. And by the way, for those of you that have a CRM, what I'm sharing with you is, watch it. Let me back up for a second. When I'm talking about that the Power Builder has a newsletter built in, for those of you that have a CRM, here's what I want you to do with what I'm teaching right now. You should say, wow, do I have a newsletter with my CRM? Let me write that down. Let me go check with my vendor if it has that, and how can I set that up? Check with your vendor to see if you get a free website that hooks into it. So when people fill out a form on your site, it goes right into your CRM. Make sure it's doing that. Make sure there's automated campaigns. Now, I don't know of any CRM that doesn't have that. That's like standard. That's like clocks having a second hand. Well, that's not true. Not all watches have that. But anyway, I guess you get my point. That automated campaigns, you probably have an automated campaign. Are you using it? What campaigns are there? Go look at it. These are things. The title here is work on your business. So some of you got home. I'm giving you homework to do for your business. Here's another one. Social media posting. Now, most CRMs don't have that. We have that for Power Builders, where it automatically post on Facebook when they're up and running. Joke. Twitter, Instagram. It automatically posts things for you. So you connect your social media accounts to the CRM, and then it's posts these real estate related articles and stuff. It's set and forget. It's lovely. Also, the Power Builder, and those of you that have a CRM, does it have goal setting? Like you can set your goals and help you stay focused and give you tasks to do. So anyway, don't forget with your CRM to ask the broker for those orphans, those people that have been lost touch, and you're going to follow up and put them into your CRM as past clients, okay? Now, Power Agents, we did a webinar for you also a couple of weeks ago with our vendor, Shannon, who is, it's called Exact Contact. That's the engine under Power Builder. So we had Power Builder customized for Power Agents with Exact Contact. So check out that webinar. There's a whole hour to help you guys get acclimated to that. Number 9 is develop your mailing list that you're going to promote to. So I talked about RedX. I'm a big fan, huge fan. I don't recommend anybody else. They're the bomb. Mic drop, RedX. They have this thing called Geo Leads where you can type in an address and then it'll tell you, all right, how many leads do you want? And then you can download the entire list into an Excel file. Then you upload it into your CRM. You purchase the mailing list with the names, the phone numbers, their email, their contact, everything. I love this. Now, another way to do it, it's a little bit more expensive, is Cold Directory. To get your mailing list of who you're going to market to, you can go there. Now, they are expensive, though. But the Cold Directory, the difference with them is like you can get their income. You even, do they own a pool? I mean, you can get crazy specific on each individual person if you think you need that. Power Agents, we negotiated $200 certificate for you. So that's in the vendor section. Also, again, I'm just giving you a slew of working on your business. You should make sure some of your marketing pieces should be holiday specific. Like we write the newsletter for the Power Agents, and obviously it's got a Halloween theme for October. In November, it's got that whole, Thanksgiving type of feel to it. Safety checklist for kids during the Halloween season. Customize all this stuff, Power Agents, you can customize it. So make sure whatever you're using, try and have it be specific to the time of year, the theme. Like here is the top 10 reasons to list your home before year end. And then we created another one called the 11 reasons to list during the holidays. That's powerful. You should have it. Power Agents, by the way, guess, I'm going to tell you how you can get a copy of my slides when we're done, okay? As a Power Agent. But the Power Agents, this is all in the farming and self-promotion. Tech tools and training. Let me skip over that. That's a wrong video. Oh, yes. What I want you working on your business is get a little tech savvy. Make sure you have something on that you're familiar with when it comes to doing PowerPoint presentation or using Google Slides, or you're a Mac person, Keynote, because in this COVID world, you should have learned this by now. So if you haven't learned it, you need to make sure going into 2022, you're a little tech savvy on at least a visual way to do a listing appointment, and also be comfortable with some video conferencing platform. Everybody really uses Zoom. They seem to be the best one. Value pieces. Let me go through some value pieces. Now, I'm going to talk to the power agents, but guess what I want you to see. It's what I said already. When I'm going to show, I want you to ask yourself, do you have marketing pieces that you're not using and as part of your business? All right. So as I'm showing the power agents this, I want you to think about that. All right. Let me give you, for instance, power agents, we have written for you guys so many value pieces. As I go through these have all been written for you by the best writers in the industry, and you can customize it, power agents. If you don't like a word, you can edit it as much as you want, along with putting your contact information. And that's the point that I want to make. Power agents, when we have the 8 risks homeowners take when they choose to sell their own home, are you using that? Are you using that on a Fsbo appointment? Are you bringing that? Are you using it as a mailing piece? Not all of them. I want you to pick 1 or 2 and start using it in your business. The multiple offer thing. When there's multiple offers, telling a buyer and telling a seller what to do in multiple offers and how to manage that, right? This one has been getting rave reviews because it helps you deal with the highs and lows and the bad parts sometimes of multiple offers. The guests on the call, you're going to get that email today if you decide you want to do the trial. So that's one of the bonuses you get to keep. The buyer's guide. This is over, I forget how many pages. It's at least 25 pages that you give to a buyer to show them the step-by-step process on how to buy a house. The good move checklist. This is for children. Children, it's very traumatic making a move. The youngest children go through a certain amount of trauma. This is a book to help parents make the experience better for their kids. I hope you're using this, power agents, with your buyers that have children or your sellers, or giving them this guide and using it as a call to action. Hey, here's an easy way to move from point A to point B in your life. Again, it's all branded to you. The seller's guide, I think the seller's guide is incredible. But let me go on. Let me just jump past this. There's all that. Oh, here's something else. Guests, take the moment and sit down and make a list of all the reasons why you're worth what you charge. The power agents, we did it for you. But the guests, I want you to imagine, sit down and write out what are all the great things that you do for a seller that earns the commission. And then create a marketing piece around it like we did for our students. I'll tell you 2 benefits. Number 1, it's a great icebreaker. No, it's 3. Great icebreaker on a listing appointment. Number 2, it's a good lead behind if you don't get the listing. But number 3 is, if you wrote those 184 or you read these 184, by the time you read it, you'll be like, geez, I'm worth every penny you'll be better on a listing appointment asking for a full commission. Which, by the way, guests, I forgot that's one of your bonuses today too. Listen, guests, I'm telling you this bonus, the $5 is worth everything that's on the screen. So I encourage you. Here's the other thing about working on your business and getting skilled is make sure you have a tight listing appointment, right? When you go into a listing appointment, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. Now, I'm just going to touch on that. I'm not teaching deep on this. The R stands for rapport. You want to build that connection with that homeowner when you go on the listings appointment. And by the way, the reason why we use the word real is because we want you to be authentic. We don't want you to be scripted. A memorized script. You can't do memorized script. A listing appointment could be 2 hours. How the hell are you going to memorize it? You can't memorize 2 hours script. Plus, the problem is what happens if they don't know their part? Wouldn't that be nice? You go on a listing appointment. Hey, Mr. Miss Fsbo, here's your part. Here's mine. You want to role play it a couple of times? Come on. You got to talk from your heart, not your head. But there needs to be a structure. Part of what will give you confidence to talk from your heart is if you have that beginning, middle, and end, how you do build rapport when you're touring the house. And when you do engage them by asking questions, asking the right questions, the 14 questions designed to get to the heart about what they're committed to, because people are selling not just to sell, they're selling because they're committed to a next level. And you want to ask questions that get to the heart of what their commitment is, because what you do is help people get to their next level. Once you're clear about what they're committed to, then you're going to give them advice. This is when you're going to talk about how you can do what you do to help them get to their next level by MLS, yard sign, brokers, open house, neighborhood, open house, bop, bop, bop. Then you're going to list and leave and get out of there before they change their mind. So you got to have a structure. You got to feel good on the appointment. By the way, here's a little tip. If you don't feel good on the listing appointment, you're not going to want to prospect. Guess, by the way, that's another bonus you're getting today, is you're getting that whole listing appointment, the REAL, and how to do a listing appointment with a Fsbo. There's an hour record. The guests, you're going to get a lot of gifts today. Power agents, if you go to Classroom and you go to Webinars on Demand, I want to show you something. How are we doing our time? Now, guests, just sit tight for a second. I'm talking to the power agents about these every week we do these training sessions. And power agents, as part of working on your business, I want you to make sure that you're watching these webinars, these trainings, and you just implement one or two things. You can't implement it all because this is how I teach. I teach like it's a buffet of a whole bunch of different dishes. I don't expect you to eat everything. You'll get sick. Just take one or two things and implement it into your business. That's how I train. I had a power agent say, Darryl, you teach so much. I that's just what I do. It's hard to, I can't go small when I'm teaching. So if you look at last week, we had a risk management training by a specialist on that, how to use the holidays. Then we talked about how to use gifts in building relationships, how to do the open house. I told you about that one. There's knowing your CRM. There is how to master the telephone was the second one on the left there. The 7 habits to succeed in the shifting market because it's been shifting. Hello. 6 ways to generate a surge of listings. Gang, this is in just the last couple of months that we've done here. How to build your farm, the brainstorming sessions, how to double your income, and the marketing calendar. So power agents, make sure you're taking this time going into the year to rewatch some of those and implement just one of the ideas. Now, this one here, I do want to pull from this, and we're going to open up to questions. So I got a few more minutes. I'm going to finish teaching, and then we're going to go to questions and coaching. I'm going to stay on this webinar. So any question you have about anything, your business, you'll ask it. I taught a few months ago how to work with buyers. One of the things I'm going to encourage you to do, gang, is make sure in this market you are actually getting buyer agency agreements, that they're signed for buyers. If you have buyers and they're not hiring you to represent them, they're already promising you that they're not going to protect your commission, and they promise that they're not committed to just you. That, you can't do, like, some of you are acting more committed to your buyers than they are committed to you. You're treating them like they're a client. Watch this. All buyers are customers. Once they hire you as their buyer's agent, they become a client. That's the difference. And some of you are treating your buyer customers as if they're your client. That's wrong. So it's very important that you sit down with these buyers, and just like you have, watch this, I'm going to teach something extra. I don't have time, but I'm going to teach it anyway. There's 3 pre-planned conversations, structured conversations you should have. When you go on a listing appointment, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, and how you know you're successful is they sign the listing. That's number 1. Number 2 is how to present your offers. When you present offers, you just don't wing it. You just don't put, here's this one for that amount, here's this one. No. There's a way to present offers the right way to get yours accepted. The third is, lastly, this is having a buyer sit with you and having them doing a presentation so they hire you at the end of that conversation. Okay, now that's it, working on your business. Now, to summarize, and then I have a bone, I'm going to talk to the guests for a minute. So guests, stay right there. Get focused and organized in your business in this last quarter. Prospect for listings. Do open houses still as weather permits, and then work on your business. I gave you a slew of ideas on that. There is a little bonus tip, which is to become a power agent for only $5. I want to talk to the guests, and then we're going to go to questions. So if you're a guest, I want to show you something here. So bear with me 1 second. Just stay with me. If you decide to become a power agent, you can do that for just $5. You're going to get access to the entire website. I'll show you that in a minute. You can cancel anytime, and you get all of these bonuses. But I want to show you something. You'll see here, this is from Suzanne Dern. She posted this. We have a closed Facebook group for the power agents. And Suzanne put this out there just 6 days ago. And she said, good morning, group. I just have to shout out yesterday. I got a new listing. Yep. The lead came through efforts I've been doing for a long while. But the difference with this listing is that I handled it differently. I had left Darryl's coaching program over a year ago, what with COVID, conflicts with other programs. So I made the decision to let go of his training. Big mistake. I had come to realize recently that my attitude about real estate had changed, and my gusto and enthusiasm was gone along with Darryl. So I rejoined a few weeks ago. And you know what? My enthusiasm and mindset over the last few weeks has changed, just with the help of the Monday morning calls to start off the week, not to mention the webinars on Wednesday that I did for free before joining. My business is improving, and I'm improving, and I'm so glad to be back in the fold, and I'm going to make better use of this program than I did before, and I know I'll be a better agent and person for it. Glad to be part of the group again. So glad I got my new listing. Take care, folks. And then somebody hollered out, Amanda, right at the top there. She said, I agree with you. I'm a new power agent 1 month in, and I also have great shift and attitude towards the business. Much more motivated. Looking forward to month 2. Congratulations on new listings. Anyway, gang, I'm going to tell you something. If you're a guest, I want you, you can't experience it until you experience it. Like I could talk about the power program and you can read stuff about this, but man, when you experience it, it's totally different than me trying to explain it. But I'm going to do my best to continue. Which she referenced, our power agent Suzanne references, every Monday there's a power coaching call where I can talk to you, and we open it up and you take yourself off mute and we go back to back. We record it. You can listen to it later. Those calls usually take 2 hours, even though we call it the power hour. There's these webinars on demand that are recorded, and they're put in a training session for power agents. The closed Facebook group, I think, is the best in the industry. There's other bigger groups, but because ours is closed, there's no negativity. There's no advertising. There's no nothing. It's all high-end stuff. The Power Agent website, Ming, let me show you this. Let's say you go to the classroom and you go, you know what, I need help with buyers, or I need help with prospecting, or in this example, I need help with farming and self-promotion. You click on it, and then there's literally hundreds of forms or flyers or letters that every single one of them you can customize down to the letter. You can go in there. I can show you later if we have time. But anyway, it's so easy. It's not some software you have to learn. There's a favorite tab. If you like something, you put it into a favorite folder just for you. If let's say you can't find something, so you type in the word Fsbo, you want to see all the Fsbo stuff. There's the flyers, the checklist, the dialogues, the training for Fsbo. It's there for you. Now, guests, here's what you get if you decide you want to try this for $5. There is a listing appointment. It's a PowerPoint. You're going to keep all this, so you can sign up and then cancel, and you keep it. You don't send it back. You're going to get it digitally sent to you, a PowerPoint presentation on how to do a listing appointment, an hour training on how to deliver that listing appointment, along with that 43-page breakthrough business plan. That's really important. You really need to be working on that now. If you're a new agent or an experienced agent, you need to recommit to your business. We got a 29-page book on that for you. Our 12 most requested dialogues. That's awesome. Fsbos, Expireds, houses for rent. The 184 things that you do to earn your commission that you can actually customize as well. The multiple offer e-guide that you can give to a buyer or to a seller, along with a spreadsheet to show a seller the offers and which is best and which one they should take. Plus, you get a copy of today's slides. You get a copy of the recording. You get 30 days of CRM if you need one. If you don't have one, it's free for 30 days. Everything on the page, that's what it retail for. But again, you only do it for $5 and you get to keep it. So, and all you have to do is click on that thing. I'm done with today's webinar, but we're not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here. We're going to ask questions. If you're a guest, I'm going to encourage you to click on that floating thing on the screen to bring you to the page. But hang out with us right now, because now's the time to answer questions. Julie, how we doing?
We're doing awesome. This is your time now. You got to ask questions and get some coaching. Veronica just signed up. Welcome, Veronica. We're excited to have you. Kim just signed up. Welcome, Kim.
Awesome.
I love it. Clementina says, how do I follow up with Expireds and Fsbos after talking to them if you don't have a CRM?
Well, so what, Clementina, what you would do to follow up with Fsbos and Expireds is you can use an Excel spreadsheet. You can use a piece of paper. What I recommend that you do is organize it by the last 4 digits of the telephone number, because that's a great way to organize. That's how before computers, because I'm an agent back in BC before computers. I used a form that I created. It had the name of the homeowner, the address, their phone number, and a copy of the ad. And then I wrote my notes on the back of it. and I filed it by the last four digits of the telephone number so I can easily organize it. And when I every week check in for new Fsbos, I could always, the phone number never changed. That was the one best way to do it. Next question, Julie.
I love it. Sean says, as a newer agent who's always lived paycheck to paycheck, I found it hard to advertise because money shortages. What else can I do?
Oh, Sean, I'm so glad that you asked that question. Sean, don't spend money you don't have right now. You do not have to spend any money of CRMs or advertising or buying leads. Sean, listen to me. Sean, as a new agent, I love new agents. You know, when I started real estate, let me tell you something, Sean. When I started real estate, I was 19 years old. And I was living on my own since the age of 16. That's another story I won't get into right now. But I was an emancipated minor at 16. I had bad childhood. 19, I'm living on my own. I couldn't afford to even pay attention. I was so broke. So I couldn't afford to pay. All I did, so you know what I did is I used my phone and I used Fsbos. And the phone was not a cell, right? It was a landline phone. It cost me no money, but I was generating listings, appointments, and that's how I built my business to 6 transactions a month. Sean, you do not have to spend money, but you do have to get skilled. Now, I do think there's some investment like becoming a power agent of $47 a month is the best money you can spend because you're getting handheld, you're getting trained. So I really hope you do this with us, that you become a power agent, Sean, if you're not. Next question, Julie.
Yes. How much for Power Builder?
For a small brokerage?
For a small broker.
So if you're a broker, I don't know what the brokerage plan is, so I'll show you what to do, okay? So if you go to our website, give me a second. Our website is awesome. We have the phone number is right at the top. Now we'll go to voicemail, but we call you back, okay? So that's number one. So you can talk to a real human. The other thing is our little chat function there. Now, you'll see one of the people here's how our chat works. When you write a question, everybody in my team, all their computers go bling because somebody just sent the chat. And then everybody looks. What's that?
They're blinging right now.
They're blinging right now. So what happens is my whole entire team looks at that question and they say, who's the best one to handle it? Now, I already know the answer to your question. Anything dealing with the CRM, Gail will answer that chat. So if you type in and say, I'm a broker and I want to get a broker Power Builder version, how do I do that? Gail will answer you and she'll call you and she'll explain it to you. Next question, Julie.
Yes, Loretta says this is absolutely a fabulous program. Nothing else in the training arena compares for the price. Thanks, Loretta.
So Loretta's a current power agent. She said, by the way, any current power agents, I would love for you to help the non-power agents, the guests, to share with them if you like it. And do you think they should, because they see me talking about the power program here. They think, yeah, of course, Darryl, you're going to say it's the best thing since sliced bread. But it would mean so much if you told them your honest opinion if you're a power agent on the call right now. So, all right, next question, Julie.
Muhammad wants to know, how do I sign up?
Okay, so if you just click on, Sarah, if you'll refresh that pop-up thing on your screen right now, there should be a pop-up thing that says full access, start my trial. So if you click there, it'll bring you to the page where you can actually sign up, and you'll put in your contact information along with your credit card. Today, all that happens is the $5. You have 30 days at $5. If you decide to continue, then next month it would be $47, but you can cancel anytime. You're not locked in, okay? So anyway, that's that on that. Okay, next question.
Yep, that was one of them is do I have to sign a contract?
Nope.
Jamie says, do you think handwritten letters or cards are more effective than mass mailing?
Jamie, I think on a small scale, handwritten letters are good and cards. And I think what you should do is schedule those. What I don't like is if, let's say you're prospecting, you call a Fsbo, you don't get in the door, but you want to send them something. I don't like you stopping the call to write a card and then go back to the calls. It's like going, if you went to the gym, not that I go, but I've seen it on television. Like if you go to a gym and you say, all right, let me do one squat on the squat machine. And then you get off and you say, let me go to the treadmill and just walk for 1/10 of a mile. And then let me go. it ruins your rhythm. So I would do an hour of calls as an example. And then when those calls are done, I'd have another 30 minutes where I do my scheduled handwriting stuff. But mass mailing, I would not do handwriting. It's just too much time. It's not worth it. Next question.
You know, on our brainstorming session, that was a popular strategy. It was just every morning write out between 2 and 5 little notes and pop those in the mailbox and get on with your day. So I think that's a great smart strategy to start. And plus it puts you on kind of a high as you start the day, right?
Absolutely.
He wants to know, is RedX included in the offer?
Yeah, so RedX is, if you go to Classroom, I want to show everybody the Classroom because I only just showed my PowerPoint. I want to tell everybody, and I'm going to get to the RedX question in a minute. When you go to Classroom, we have everything's alphabetical. So if you needed help with, like RedX, for example, okay, where's RedX? It's an R. So let me go E, F, G, H, I, J, K. There we go, elemental P, R, RedX. When you click on that, it'll bring you to the website when you're logged in as a Power Agent, and you will get the Power Agent exclusive offer that's nowhere else, which is you don't pay the $150 setup fee and you don't pay the first 30 days. You can cancel before the 30 days and pay nothing. After the 30 days, it is a separate charge because we don't own RedX. It's a separate vendor that we push because we love it. And we negotiated that great deal for Power Agents that you can't get anywhere else. So, and what does it cost the RedX? It depends because they do a la carte. Let me see if I can show you the pricing that they have. Yeah, here it is. So Expireds are $59 a month. Geo Leads is $49. Fsbos is $39. And then what happens, that's the a la carte. When you get 2 or more, they give you discounts, right? And the average Power Agent spends $180 a month because they'll usually do Fsbos, Expireds, and then one other thing. But you don't have to do that anyway. Next question, Julie.
So many neat Power Agent comments. I'm publishing them. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Darryl, where do we find for rent by owner data? That's RedX. You were just talking about that.
Yeah, RedX. What'll happen is for sale by owners, for rent by owners, many investors and landlords should list if they're given the opportunity. So that's really expensive. It's $80 a month. But what I love about the for rent by owners is that agents are not working them. Most of them, right? Most of them don't even work Fsbos. So this is what I'm saying. Where's my new agent that's broke? Sean or whoever that was that can't afford anything? Fsbos, Expireds, houses for rent, telephone. Now, show any of the new agents, yes, is this an investment to be a Power Agent? An investment for yes, but it is the high return. If you got one listing that's sold, you just paid for both memberships for the next 3 years. So one listing that sells, 3 years of revenue. So anyway, next question, Julie.
But wait, there's more. When you don't just sign up for RedX day one, get in and learn. Like we talked about that on the coaching call Monday. Get in, watch the webinars on Fsbos and Expireds, get the dialogues and get clear with them. Go to the 26 reasons a Fsbo shouldn't be a Fsbo, and absorb that. Then sign up for you because you don't want to waste that 30 days, right?
Exactly. So what I recommend you do, here's what I will tell you to do. If you're a new agent in real estate or new Power Agent, but you're experienced, this is what I recommend you do. After you sign up, and we're going to give you an email on this, so you don't have to pay attention too much right now. There's this thing called onboarding. And when you go to onboarding is a term, in case you don't know, whenever you have a new client, you get them acclimated to what you do, right? So onboarding, like if a broker hires some new agents, they would do onboarding of the new agent, at least they should. So on that page, we created, hey, Sarah, are you there, Sarah?
I am.
Sarah, we have a sad module 8.
Oh, no.
He's looking a little shy.
Okay.
Let's give him a little confidence boost there.
Yeah, he needs a confidence boost, module 8. So module 1, 2, 3, what happens is the foundation, make a plan about listings, lead gen, So let me just go to module 1. And what we did for you, and actually this is totally Julie and Sarah put this together for us, is it'll say, all right, one of the things we suggest is download the calendars from the time management tab. Now, if I click on this, it'll actually bring me to the tab where that stuff is located in the Power Program website. So and as you accomplish these things, you check it off. Like here, I just unchecked it. You get points when you check it off, so it gamifies it. And anyway, I suggest that you do the onboarding for new and experienced agents. That'll really help you get your business up and running as well.
That
Next
makes me
question.
so happy that you said that. We actually had an agent in the chat 2 days ago, and she's going through the onboarding, and it's helped her so much to get organized and to do those good habits, and she's skyrocketing already. So do it. It's so important for a foundation.
Yeah. And let me show you why. And just hang on a second. To gang, I still want to answer your question, so stay with me. I just want to show you this. This is one tab of the Power Program website. And it's, by the way, it's all alphabetical. And you'll see I'm up on flyers right now. Now, let me just go to, let's see, this one here, flyer, Halloween, and home. I don't even know what it is. What happens is that it opens up PowerPoint. So our stuff that we created was either created in PowerPoint or Microsoft Word because we find that's the easiest. So Halloween and home sellers, and it talks about other reasons why you should sell your home during the holidays, perhaps. But look at this. I can customize anything that I want. If I don't like that image, this is where I put my contact information at the bottom. And so everything you can customize down to the word. Well, I don't know if you can see this right now. I'm going to take that word small and say, I don't like the fact that he wrote small. I'm going to say medium. Bada bing, I just changed it. Now, there's one other thing for the people that are not tech savvy. Let me just go back to the site. One of the things that we did for you is in the tech tools and training, we actually did some great training for you guys on technology things. So, for example, there's a tech training on how to use Box Brownie, which is another vendor we highly recommend, the Power Builder CRM. But let me go down to Zoom, how to use Zoom 101, Zoom 102, how to use PowerPoint so you can customize it, how to use Canva. So there's some tech training on just basic stuff. We're not a tech training company, but it's important in our business, and we found that there was a need, so that's what we did for you guys as well. Next question, Julie.
Love it. Nancy said, I'm doing a Halloween mailing this week to 250 people from the Halloween flyers. I love that. I was actually just going to say, we have so many fun Halloween things, and now's the week. This week is the week to get ready for it, and next week is the week to send them. There's Halloween contests and that kind of thing. Really fun ways to interact with your community.
Let me show you something. Here's another way to find stuff in case you don't want to use the tabs. If I just type in Halloween, it's similar tech that Google uses, but it searches the entire site, and there is the social media posts that we have. There's the trunk or treat one. There's the home seller one that I just did. And by the way, there's something else I'll point out if you haven't already noticed. There is, let me go back to newer. There is, you'll see in some of these things, it'll say flyer, Halloween safety, English or Espanol. So wherever there's a piece that you would use with buyers or sellers, we've actually also have a Spanish version of it as well, because we found that was important. So next question, Julie.
I love it. Can you show us where to ask questions? Can you highlight that chat there?
That little bubble never goes away. You send a message. Everybody's going to see it. And I'll just tell you how this works. FYI, this software that we use, it tracks you, meaning that if you ask more than one question several times, like it'll have a history of you. So we can see how we're taking care of you from a customer service standpoint, if you're frustrated and people. So, but when you log in and you ask questions, if you do a few times, and let's say Gail answered you a lot, then probably Gail would still continue to help you because she's helped you before. So Next question.
Love it. Is it better to simply just not take on a listing of an owner's asking price to list is just way above the market and comparables, or how do you bring them to their senses in terms of pricing?
Yeah. So when it comes to pricing, I will tell you, let me go to Classroom. There's a couple of things I'll say about that. They're in the servicing section of the Power Program website, servicing sellers. There's some stuff about pricing things properly and how to explain that to a homeowner, how to stage it, and blah, blah, blah. So there's some strategies in there. I think it's okay to take overpriced listings as long as it's not too high, where the market eventually will catch up to it. And I mean, eventually, like within the next next 60, 90 days, 120 days is pushing it. High end, like multi-million dollar properties, that's an exception to the time. Now, the other exception to take an overpriced listing, like if it never sells, but it's a great place for you to have a yard sign because it's on a busy street, then that's acceptable as well, because now it's like a free billboard. So you have to look at it from a business standpoint. If a homeowner is unrealistic and they don't care, they're not selling, and you will get other benefits from it, meaning open houses, buyers, yard sign visibility, then that's fine. Then it's a win-win for you. The homeowner gets to keep their house on the market until if somebody gets lucky, or they get lucky, and you get your benefit from it. So, yep.
Great job. Okay, buckle in. I've got a long question from Mark. I do mailings periodically. Now I'm starting new mailing campaigns monthly as we have so much in the classroom. Normally, I just did my solds. Not many agents do continue mailing, so I figure it's a good way to stand out. My farm is 2,600 homes, two towns combined. I don't like the idea of not mailing everyone, but I was curious of what Darryl's thoughts are on 1,000 to 1,500 per mailing. The whole list gets pricey, but we don't know who might respond, so I don't like not doing it at all. I'm in a second home market with high prices, so 1-2 listings will cover many mailings. Also, what's the best way to mail the flyers? Put together myself or send to a mailing company?
Yeah, so Mark, great questions across the board. Number one, let me start with the last question, which is, should you use a mailing house? Definitely on that size mailing, you should. That's number one. Number two is, as far as you wanting to mail to everybody, but it's going to be costly, I totally get that. Farming and mailings is a numbers game. So the more people you mail to, the better your chances are for it to pay off. But you can't spend money you don't have. So Mark, you have to be willing. Here's what you should do. You take your mailings, 1,500, multiply it out. Let's say it's $1. That's 1,500 a month. And 6 months, that's $9,000. Do you have $9,000 to invest? If you don't have $9,000, then you got to drop that down. If you can do more than $9,000, then do all 2,600. Now, what you can do to offset the cost is go in with a mortgage broker to split the cost with you, or to even pay the whole thing. Say, listen, every lead that comes out of this, I'm going to funnel it to you. I need you to underwrite it. So you can do that, which means you've got to give them some spottage, on the mailing, like on the letterhead. You acknowledge them, postcard, their faces there as well. So that's my suggestion.
Great suggestion.
And we can listen, Mark, we can talk more about on Monday. So I just gave you that much. We have a slew of other questions. If you have more questions on that on the Monday coaching call, just shout out and we'll dissect it some more. But that's my advice. Next question, Julie.
Perfect. Shaylin is a new broker and needs training for her new agents. Can we help?
Yeah, Shaylin, we have a broker packet that's only for brokers. And if you use that little chat thing, Gail will definitely is the one in charge of that. So just right there, here's like you send a new message, you say, hey, Gail, because then Gail will be like, how does you know it's her? And then you can say, Darryl said that I should contact you. I'm a broker and I want to do a broker package. And Gail will take care of you, okay?
Awesome. Deborah says, I wish I'd become power agent months ago. I didn't even know this existed.
Thank you. I'm going to tell you something. If I don't, at the risk of sounding like I'm selling over here, listen, let's say I'm wrong, right? And I'm not all that we say we are. What's the worst that this going to cost you is $5. And, think about other places that you've wasted $5. I mean, that's even less than a Starbucks coffee. But what you're going to get for $5 is everything on the screen, and you get to keep it. And if you just look at the size of these documents, listen, this breakthrough business plan, these are not things that are selling Power Program. This is what we give Power Agents. So the business plan is 43 pages. It's not a sales. That's like for you to use in your business. Those dialogues, we're not holding back on the dialogue. You're getting all 12 dialogue. I mean, just gang, I really encourage you to just try us, and you'll see that we are what we say we are. So
if you implement even a fraction of that, your business is going to thrive. I mean, your business is worth a $5 investment, right?
Right.
Sophia says 17 cents a day for 30 days. Why would you not? I love it.
Sophia, I love it. That was good. I just published that, Julie. Very good, Sophia. Thank you.
I recently started following up with Fsbo and Expireds on Red X. I found that some of the leads are dated. What do you advise?
Yeah, so the Red X, there's no perfect source to leads. So I've been testing mailing houses because one of the next thing we're going to add to the program, which, by the way, I'm going to say this to y'all, is, let me just tell you what we're planning. So we've been working on getting a print-on-demand solution for Power Agents. So instead of finding another solution and sending the flyers and stuff that we have for you to a separate vendor, that we can do it for you in-house in the portal of the Power Program. So we've been trying to find a company that we really recommend. Now, once we do that, there's a good chance we're going to raise the price of the Power Program. But we don't raise prices to our current members. So if, for example, we're at $47 now and we raise it to $97, well, if you're at 47, you locked in today, you'll be that for life. So that's another thing you should really consider, because we're on the cusp of doing that.
All right, as long as you stay a member, you're locking in your price.
Yeah, I mean, we have Power Agents that were paying even less than 47 because they've been with us for years, and they're still paying that lower price. So Suzanne, she was at the lower price, and when she came back, she had to pay the higher price, so you want to lock it in so you can stay at that. But anyway, what was the question? I'm sorry.
I got lost.
I got lost.
I got lost.
Do yourself or print? I don't remember what the question was. I'm sorry. If you want to ask the question again, if I didn't answer it, maybe we did. So go to the next question.
Mohammed's asked us a couple times. He wants to show how to do the client capture on the CRM. Mohammed, we'd have to demonstrate the whole CRM, but we do have it in the classroom on demand. Darryl showed you that earlier, where literally our partner with CRM went through all the, not just how to capture client, but how to use all the bells and whistles inside. So go to the tech tools and training or webinars on demand, and you'll see Shannon's awesome webinar.
Yeah. Let me find Builder. Yeah. So last month, getting to know your Power Builder CRM Part 2. That's where you'll find that. And there's a Part 1 on this page as well. By the way, Power Agents, just to teach you, actually everybody on the call, here's a little tech trick. If you'll see all of these are the webinars on demand, right? So there's a lot. And let's say there's the other Part 1. Let's say you didn't want to scroll through everything. If you hit Control Find on your browser, which would be Control F, this little thing pops up. And let's say I was looking for listing. If I just type in listing, everything that has listing in the title on the page will show up, and I can just jump around the site that way as well. So if I was looking for the buyer webinar, I could do that as well. Type in buyer, bada bing. There's one on a mortgage guy that we had. There's another about how to create buyer loyalty. So we have a lot of guests. So it's these Wednesday webinars, but we have Power Agent exclusive webinars with all kinds of cool industry leaders and thought leaders and experts. Yeah, there's some of the when you don't see my face in the thing, you'll see how to write intriguing real estate bios that get read. This was from Christy. This was one of the best ones, I think, of our guest speakers, because the stuff that she said was just incredible. How to generate leads using your Power Agent content was another guest speaker. The guest speakers are awesome. This was how to use Curbio. Oh my God, I love Curbio Vendor. We actually, RPR, is a free service for realtors that most realtors aren't even aware of. This to me is by far the best CMA software because it uses MLS data, pulls it from the MLS. It has so many different variables that you can have a CMA that's 43 pages or 4, and you can customize it, and it's all free. So we actually brought in the NAR folks, and they did something just for power agents on that. Anyway, a lot of great stuff. Next question, Julie.
Being in New York, we technically shouldn't be making cold calls. What should we focus on?
That's not true. That's not true, Michael. That's wrong. I don't even need to see the rest of the question. Michael, that is not wrong. NYSAR is putting out bad information. I actually went to battle with NYSAR's attorney because he's wrong. They're giving bad advice. Let me explain something. NAR and all the local chapters are political organizations, but they are not the law. So the license law in New York, in a state of emergency, you absolutely 100% can call Fsbos. Now, can you cold call, which is what you said, where you just randomly call people? You're right, Michael. That you can't do. But you can call Fsbos. You can call Expireds in New York. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they are 100% wrong. Next question.
Yes. How do you send invitations for the open house neighborhood? Is there a database we have access to? Mileage to an open house? No, we cannot physically put invites in the mailbox.
So Veronica, what you would do is you would use the RedX, and they have this thing called Geo Leads. Let me go to my PowerPoint slides, and then because I had a screenshot of it. And let me just see. And by the way, guests, you're going to get a copy of these slides. And let me just find where I put it. Geo Leads. Here it is. So what happens, Veronica, when you have a RedX account, you will go to Geo Leads. And when you go to Geo Leads, you can type in the address of where your open house is. And then you can control how many houses you want to mail to. But then you purchase that list and you download it into an Excel file. And that's your mailing list for the neighborhood open house. That's, in my opinion, the best way to do it. Next question.
I would agree. What time are the coaching calls?
They start at 11 o'clock Eastern time, and they go for 2 hours, as I said earlier. Now, I'll show you where those calls are. When you're in the Power Program website and you go to Classroom, or you can go to Dashboard, but where it says coaching calls, when you go to coaching calls, there's a couple of benefits you can do, because the Monday calls are really powerful. So we really recommend that you do what I'm about to show you. I didn't even talk about taking notes. So you actually have your own online notepad where you can keep your notes all in one place. So it becomes a training portal for you. But what happens is that you can email your question in advance. If you click here, I have a question, then you can also put it into your whatever software you use, Google Calendar, your Apple computer, and it'll schedule all your Mondays in your calendar as reminders. We record the call, like this was last Monday's call, and I don't know if you can see, it says 2 hours. The one before that was 1 hour and 39 minutes, etc. And so you can listen to them. These are all the calls that we've been doing since the pandemic, every Monday, every week, loaded content for you. Next question, Julie.
Do you have to pay for the flyers and e-guides separately? No,
it's all part of the program. Now, let me explain something. And I'm not blowing smoke at y'all because I actually counted it. I was curious to see how many pieces we had. And when I counted it at the time, and this goes back 6 months ago, and we keep adding, we had over 550 flyers, letters, and checklists. And to answer your question, no, this is part of your membership. And let me tell you something else, ladies and gents. This stuff over here, if let's say you needed content because you wanted to just, like this over here is a flyer. Let me go to this one. This is the declutter down. This is how to declutter your house. It's a flyer. You put your contact information there, etc. But let's say you wanted some kind of social media post. Bing, you can take this and I can select all copy. I just copied this. Let me show you this. I'm going to open up my Microsoft Word just to show you the amount of content that we gave you here, guys. I just pasted that article, that column of that article into my site. I can go to Facebook and my point is you can slice and dice so much content here. You could not afford to pay a writer to write the amount of content that we have written for you guys. This is an incredible program for you. Now, let me show you something else. This flyers, these are letters. These are all the letters that you can send. There is an expired letter campaign. Do you see this? Expired letter 1, number 2, number 3. And if I click on, let's say, letter number 4, and it also says, again, Spanish. If I open up that letter, here's the letter. And once again, this letter, if I wrote something you didn't like, watch this. I delete that first paragraph. Ding, it's gone. Finite. You can customize his letter. You can use some of this as a text if you want. Ah, my goodness gracious, gang. There is so much content you have access to. It is really, we're very proud of this program. You will not find the breadth of the depth, whatever word there is to
the depth and breadth.
Breadth and depth. There's newsletters. Look at this. Every month there's a newsletter we have for you that we've designed. There's postcards we designed for you. There is, forget about it. So, Julie, let's go to the next question.
Well, on that note, Clementina says, can all the flyers be posted on my Facebook instead of mailing them out? You can use them multiple ways. Yeah, absolutely.
You can post this stuff. You can copy it and post it anywhere.
Put it on your blog, put it in your social media, wherever you want.
Website.
Rekha says, can you search MLS for non-owner occupieds?
That depends on your MLS. MLS, there isn't one national MLS. Every board has contracts with different MLSs, and those are like different softwares. So I don't know. You have to ask your board.
A very important question by Robert. With the CRM provided, who owns the database?
You own it. You own it. So that's a very good question. So here's what happens when you use the Power Builder CRM. That's yours. Not the company, not the franchise, not the broker. That's yours. Now, unless we had a broker ask for a broker package for the CRM, in that case, if your broker is paying for the CRM for the agents, then it's theirs. So, keep that in mind. But with our Power Builder, it's yours. And here's something really awesome. How do you get your existing clients from your old CRM into the new one, the Power Builder? Our team that with Exact Contact, they'll help you do it. I think they'll even do it for you. So it's easy transfer all of the history of your clients into the new CRM. Next question, Julie.
Is the Power Builder CRM included in the $47 a month, or is it additional?
No, it's not. The Power Builder is an additional, and here's why. Because we had to carve it out because not all power agents need the CRM. Some already have a CRM with another company. So the $47 is just for the power program. The CRM itself, if you need that, is $49 separate. So, but the 30 days is free, the first 30 days.
I love it. Sean has a question. How do I get through the anxiety of calling? When I'm in front of people, I'm good, but the phone hangs me up. Yeah,
Sean, you're going to need some more help with that. You need to be on the coaching calls with me on Monday. Bring that question up there. But I'll give you a quick answer right now because then I can talk to you, right? But I'll give you a quick answer right now. The pressure that you're feeling, Sean, is because you're putting it on you to perform. And you probably are stressing out about doing it the right way and about getting the appointment. And if you don't get the appointment, you're a loser, you're a failure, you don't know what you're doing. So, Sean, you need to take the focus off of you and focus on them. So what I want you to do is make the call, not committed to getting an appointment, not to getting successful, not to getting a listing. I said it earlier. Be committed to building a relationship with another human being. That's it. That other Fsbo on the other end of the phone is a human being. Just use my dialogue. Just build a rapport. If you build rapport and you build that relationship, they're going to ask you to come over. The appointment will happen by itself naturally. Next question, Julie.
Well, one of my favorite Darryl lines is, it's okay to have fear. Just don't let fear have you, right?
Amen.
Is cold calling the only way to prospect to get business? What if you don't like cold calling?
No.
You went through, I don't know, 47 different ways today.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. This over here. This is a whole bunch of this. Is one of the activity things. Call past clients, send out letters, call your farm areas, post social media, connect in a Facebook group, which we talk about that. Call around. That's still cold calling. Smile stops, host the neighborhood open house, call orphans, host a virtual Q&A. There's so many other things that you can do. One of the quotes that we usually have in this webinar is from a power agent that said, his name was Robert, I believe. He said, what he loves about the program is that there isn't just one way to do real estate, that I empower you to find the way that works for you. Now, of course, you hear me talk a lot about Fsbos and Expireds because I'm passionate about it. I'm good at that. That's how I built my business. And I might sometimes with my passion make it sound like that's the only end-all game of way of doing it. That's just because I'm passionate about it. But no, there's no right way. I said it at the beginning. It's the one you're willing to do consistently. I don't care what the hell it is, but you got to commit to it and do it on a regular basis. Remember that 30-day challenge? Where is that 30-day challenge thing that I said earlier? Imagine if you did that, right? Every day you spoke to one seller, one buyer. I don't care. It could be at the supermarket store. It doesn't have to be Fsbos or cold calling. But if you had 2 conversations a day, 60 in a month, you'll have a financial breakthrough in your career. Consistency is the secret. That's not the right way. Next question.
Well, and the fear comes out of it. Like you just said with Sean, if you are making it about the other person, it changes that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Annette says, I speak 4 languages. Good for you. And would like to prospect in people's first language, especially Spanish and Italian. Years ago, a title company mentioned to me they have access to a tool that allows them to identify the origin or language of the homeowners. Do you know what that is? Or do you know what I don't know what that company is, Annette. I'm sorry.
Nope. Don't know what that company is. Sorry, Annette. But hey, I love that you speak 4 languages, and your slogan should be Annette, whatever your last name was. I'm sorry, I missed it. It's gone now. Annette, but I mean, I speak your language. That should be your real estate slogan.
And when you do your power agent directory, on that note, where it says languages spoken, you should put that in your power agent directory. And I love, what's his name that put in the languages he speaks. He puts real estate. He speaks real estate.
He speaks real estate, right? Let me go to that. The directory. So we have a directory. The guests that are still on the call, I'm glad you're here because let me show you something. We have a power agent directory that we plan on next year launching to the public and branding power agents as the best in real estate. So now we have a lot of power agents that haven't put their photos, which always irks me. But these are the better power agents, the one that have taken the time to put their photos up. But let me show you, Aaron. So when you become a new power agent, one of the things that we recommend, we onboard you, we hold your hand, you'll get emails about this. But this is the directory where you can put all your contact information, your bio, your links. And we have power agents that are actually getting referrals and closing deals. Like they're making tens of thousands of dollars just from this directory. But this is the agent, Aaron Gray, that Julie was talking about. Languages I speak, English and real estate. So, Annette, you should put your 4 languages that you speak in there is the point. Next question, Julie.
And make sure you pay attention to that areas served. I think it's only Wednesday and we've seen like 5 different referrals happening in the because of the directory in the Facebook group just this week.
Yeah, if you put in keywords that people search, because I'll show you an example. Well, if I want to search for a power agent, see here has Montgomery County, Philly. If I type in Houston, anybody that put area served and they put the word Houston, that's going to show up in the directory. So if you serve Houston, but you don't put the word Houston in, that won't show up. So, and the thing about these directories, let me just click on this one as an example. See there, area served, Heights, Greater Heights. Now, here's the thing. If somebody writes, I'm trying to think of a New York Heights,
Washington Heights.
Washington Heights is going to show up. But there is no limit on the space here, area served. So now it also picks up the city that you're from. See, she didn't put Houston in area served. but her city address is Houston. So that's why I picked it up. But this, you can write as many cities as you want in that field. Next question, Julie.
Mary says, is the CRM free for 30 days? I've already been a power agent for a while, but I've not tried the CRM.
Oh, Mary, listen, you have to try the CRM when you're ready. Now, listen, Mary, the CRM is your 30 days is any time that you start it. So you could be a power agent for a year and say, okay, I want to try the CRM now. Once you sign up with the CRM, because like I said, it's a separate company that did a special deal for power agents. Your 30 days starts then. So yes, and Mary, I would carve out, that 30 days so you get the most use out of it. Well, here's what I recommend you do, Mary. If you sign up, let's say with the CRM today, I would schedule an hour or 2 hours each day for the next 2 weeks where you're working on the CRM. So that way you get acclimated to it quickly. You see all the features of it, because I want you to continue after the 30 days and not drop out from using it, because I know it'll help you. So that's my suggestion, Mary. Next question.
Mary, a lot of the letters and content that we have in the classroom is actually built into the CRM, so you don't even have to copy and paste that.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Oh, boy. The CRM, gang, what we did is any of the letters and some of the flyers and the newsletters. So I'm in the power program under farming, and I'm going to go down the letters. These letters are actually in the CRM, so you don't have to redo the work. We had them put in there for you. So, which is also awesome. Next question.
Mary wants to know if you know of a handwriting software where you can take your handwriting and it turns it into a font. I'm not sure about that, Mary.
Mary, if you just Google, let me see, my handwriting font. Look at that, Mary. My handwriting font. Draw your own font. How to turn your handwriting into a font for free. My handwriting font. So what I Googled was my handwriting font, Mary. That's what I Googled. Now, Mary, one other thing I'll show you though. It doesn't have to really be in your font. Like my hand, like I wouldn't want my handwriting as a font because nobody would read it unless you were a doctor. So what you can do, Mary, is we have this thing called greeting cards. This is another vendor we recommend. This company, Greeting Cards, they have handwriting fonts that looks real, and it's printed in blue ink on greeting cards. Now, they just do greeting cards, nothing else. But if you're looking to send out greeting cards and make it look like you actually wrote it and have your photo on it and customize the message, that's the greeting card section of the site, okay?
Awesome. Jeannie asks, can I watch this webinar again and your previous webinars? I keep getting interrupted. I need to hear this info again. Your program looks really great. There's a whole library. Not only can you should, Jeannie.
Jeannie, here's what happens. When you go to Classroom is where the magic is, right? And you'll see there's a lot of tabs I haven't gone over, but webinars on demand. Jeannie, this is what happens as a power agent. When this webinar, after we download it, and then we do a little cleaning up of it, it will be listed here, and they're all in date order, right? So this was last Wednesday's. Mm-hmm. This was the Wednesday before the Now let me just show you, like last week, how to use the upcoming holidays. As a power agent, Jeannie, when you click on that, there is the webinar, and see now you can play it, and you can pause it, and you can speed up. And then here you can download my slides as well. So now you can do it at your own pace and print out stuff and okay?
And there's real magic in that, right? Because when we're fire hosing here, it's easy to get overwhelmed. What's nice about this is if you can just dedicate some time every week to sitting down and learning, especially this time of year, right? It's powerful. Sean,
go ahead.
Sean says, I don't have Microsoft Office or Word. Can I still edit these?
Yeah, so Sean, it depends. Yeah, so what do you have? If you are an Apple person, then it'll convert over. Apple and Microsoft, they talk to one another. If you are a Microsoft Windows person and you don't have Office, you should. Now, you can use Google Docs. You can use Google Docs and Google Slides, which is free if you have a Google account, and you can convert it that way. So that's another option too. So, but I will tell you, Sean, Microsoft Office is a $10 a month to have everything, Excel, PowerPoint, a whole bunch of other stuff. So I as a real estate agent, Sean, I think you should have that. Okay. So that's my opinion. Next question.
Agree. Loretta says, do you get a website with the Power Builder CRM, and do they determine what info is shared in the automatic social media posting, or can we specify what we want posted? Or is it common?
Loretta, great question. So first of all, the Power Builder does include a website for you, period. That's number one. And it's really incredibly beautiful. People love it. Second is the social media posting. You have a dashboard and it shows you all of these sources that they can pick from. Like, let's say it's Home and Garden Magazine, Fox News, CNN News, whatever. And you get to choose where what is okay to pull from. Then it'll show you, here's what came up today. Here's what we're going to post this week for you. And then you can delete it, swap it out, change it, so you have total control, or you just set and forget. I would just set and forget, and that's how I would do it. But you have total control over it. Next question.
Clementina says, this is a follow-up on Sean's fear of cold calling. I heard Darryl once say a long time ago, he said that you just get used to picking up the phone and don't worry about getting a listing. When you get used to it, picking up the phone, he used a marathon of him training and running a marathon, so it's very powerful. Also, you don't feel like, love to you, Clementina. You don't have to feel like you're going alone. You know, that's what's so nice is when you feel like you're frustrated. I mean, the Power Agent group, everybody's so supportive. They're cheerleaders for you. It's amazing.
You know, here's the thing about that fear thing is that, like I said what I said, but you see how how do you say? Clementina, how she said it. I mean, it sounded like the words were mine, Clementina, the way she said that. And here's why, because she's probably heard, I'm going to say she's probably been a Power Agent for long enough where she's heard me say that over and over again in different versions of it. It's become part of her. So the point is the Power Program is not a one-off thing. It's a way of being in your business that happens over time. Like the more you're part of the family here and you're on these webinars and you're in the coaching calls on Monday, like good or bad, I rub off on you. and it becomes, you start to shift how you see your business, how you see yourself, because you're hearing the same message over and over again, which is the message is the foundation. I don't know if we have this in camera shot, but our motto is Power Agents don't sell people, we serve people, and Power Agents don't close people, we coach people. And so there's a mindset that shifts for you in being a Power Agent. You don't do real estate, you be it. And this is where you get it.
You know, Mary Budendek put this week that she was on the phone with a Fsbo and she used the eBay Ethan Allen analogy. She said, Darryl just came out of my mouth and all of a sudden the whole conversation shifted and she got the listing.
Awesome.
Nancy said, can you categorize the CRM for past clients, sphere, and farming?
Yes, Nancy. Any great CRM will do that for you, which is you can take all the leads. So you put all these names in there, and then you can say, all right, you can tag people as, all right, this is a past client. This is in my farm area. These people get my newsletters. And people can be tagged more than one thing, right? So if you have a past client, you tag them past client. And if you want them to be in your e-newsletter campaign every month, you can tag them e-newsletter. So now they're tagged for two things. So multiple tags for different categories. So yes, you can do that.
Subash wants to know who we would recommend for postcards. We're working on that, right?
Yeah, Subash, there's a couple of companies that we've recommended, like there's Quantum Mail is a great postcard company that will take our assets, print them, and ship them out for you. There's a few, but we're looking for something that can actually work with our site as well. In the meantime, you can outsource. I would recommend Quantum Mail in the meantime.
Wonderful. Katrina says, sorry, I got to go update my multiple offer tracker with new offers so I can get it over to the seller. Thanks for everything. I love that, Katrina. Darryl, if I'm a past member, where do I go to re-sign up?
If you're a past member, you need to use your chat, because the fact that you were a member and you want to rejoin, the $5 trial doesn't apply to you because you've already had your trial. So we have to manually set that up for you. So just click on the message in the chat and say, I'm a power agent wanting to rejoin, and we'll take care of you.
Wonderful. I think we are.
I think that's it.
Questions, yes.
Okay, good. So listen, we're gonna end this webinar now. When we do, Sarah, if you'll just flash that thing one more time, because once we close this window, that little floating bubble thing is going to go away. So I don't want you to miss out on that. So I highly encourage you to click on it now, get to the page. It's only $5, but in that $5 30-day trial, we'll acclimate you to the program. You'll get to see how it works. We'll hold your hand through it. I think you're going to absolutely love it. It's going to be a game changer for you, because it is most power agents. We have I think the highest retention rate of any membership program, because we provide you like $400 a month of value for only $47. So that's our business model. Anyway, whatever you decide, I really appreciate you spending your time and spending the 2 hours. There's so many people still on the call. So thank you for being gracious, spending time with us. I hope it was helpful for you. And the last thing I'm going to say to you, don't forget, we don't just help people buy and sell real estate. This is the best profession I think anybody can be. And why? Because everything evolves around real estate. You know, you're sitting somewhere watching this in real estate somewhere. You're standing on a piece of real estate. The planet Earth is a piece of real estate in the universe. Everything evolves around real estate, and you're in that industry. And the more people you help, the more value, the more money you get. The money is a gauge as to how many people you've helped in real estate. So focus more on helping people get to their next level in the area of real estate, and the money will follow you. God bless you. Thanks again. Stay safe, stay focused, and of course, don't forget to keep smiling. Bye-bye, everybody.